Hey, good morning, everyone. I am Christian Magnell, lead pastor at Beachside Community Church. And happy October. It's October 1st, and it's great to have this month starting off cooler, and we're heading into that Florida weather that we all love, leaving the hot weather of summer. I'm glad you're joining me here live on Facebook, and encourage you to remember to check out our website, www.beach.church, YouTube as well. You search Beachside Media on YouTube and you can find us there and you can find old recordings. And of course, you can scroll through Facebook, our Facebook page, which you're on right now if you're watching, and you can look at old videos and old sermons as well. Anyway, this week I've been unpacking the command from Jesus to love our enemies. Looking at 4 ways to do that through prayer, building community, provision, and evangelism. Monday, I talked about praying for enemies, and yesterday, Wednesday, I talked about God's call for us to build community, not just with those we love, but also with our opponents, our enemies, those who are set against us. And then the call to build that community, not just in a group, but also begin by building it one-on-one with those that we have issues with, those we're opposed to, those who are opposed to us. Today, we'll talk about provision. Another way to think about provision is giving things, providing for people, helping in tangible ways, that sort of thing. Those are all provision. I'm going to read a passage from Matthew in which Jesus talks about his followers doing the same thing. I'm going to read Matthew chapter 25, verses 35 to 40. Again, that's Matthew chapter 25, verses 35 to 40. And in this passage, Jesus is talking about his followers and the things they did while on earth, as opposed to those who rejected him and didn't do these very things. And he compares the following to providing for him, providing for Jesus. So let me bring this verse up on the screen there. Again, a long verse, so I'm going to have the whole screen filled with the verse. So Matthew chapter 25, verses 35 to 40. This is Jesus speaking. He says, "For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me." Then the righteous person will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will answer him, "Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it to me." So that's Matthew chapter 25, verses 35 to 40. So think about what they did. They gave food, drinks, welcomed the stranger, handed out clothing, visited the sick, and visited those in prison. And Jesus says when they did this to the least of people, it was like they were doing it for Jesus. This is part of how we love. That's at Jesus' words, and they think, well, he means fellow Christians. After all, he refers to brothers. And I think that's an erroneous assumption. It ignores other passages in which love is extended to enemies, like we spoke about in church on Sunday. I'm not going to say much more about this, except that most Christians recognize that we are to serve those outside of church as well as those within, that he isn't just speaking literally about brothers and sisters in Christ. In fact, the Greek there, adelphos, is only brothers anyway. So I don't think anyone's saying he's literally only talking about Christian brothers. Instead, we are to tangibly love others. We've already discussed prayer and community, and now we add providing to them to our list of ways in which we love others. It is enough, Jesus says, this is back in Matthew chapter 5, to love those who love us. Instead of somebody slaps us, forces us to go a mile, that sort of thing, we go above and beyond. We must do more. And that includes provision, whether it be giving to those who beg or those who borrow. And in this passage, Jesus, in Matthew 25, Jesus speaks of food, water, visiting, and more. And yes, we do it for our enemies. And doing it for our enemies includes those who are ungrateful, those who don't deserve it, those who don't ask politely, or those who live unpleasant lives. We give because they ask. We give because they have need. Jesus doesn't draw a distinction in Matthew 5 or Matthew chapter 25. He doesn't say, hey, if someone makes you go a mile and they're a good Christian, then you should go 2 miles. Or give to those who beg if they ask the right way, if they say please, if they say thank you. It's easy to be cynical about helping others. I definitely know that struggle. No one likes to be taken advantage of. Yet Jesus doesn't seem concerned about our reputation or pride like we are. When I was in college many years ago, I had a friend who gave some money. We were walking down State Street, Madison, and he gave some money to someone who asked him for a bus fare. So they said. And being the cynical, immature Christian I was, he was a brand new Christian and finding his faith, and I was just kind of cynical and immature and still getting to know who Jesus was. I said, I bet you she's asking more than one person. And so we stood at a distance, we walked a little ways away, and we watched this woman proceed to ask people for money, and then she would stand back, and then she'd ask people for money, then she would stand back, and she would ask people for money. We watched for maybe 15, 20 minutes, and she also proceeded to take the money she was collecting and give it to a guy standing nearby. This was clearly a scam. She collected enough money, like in 5 or 10 minutes, probably to rent a car or something like that. And so in this case, I was right, except I wasn't. I was technically right, of course. She was running a scam, but I was wrong when it came to the words of Jesus. He didn't say, give to those who beg, unless you expect them to scam you, or they're going to buy something improper. What were they going to do with the money? Who knows? Maybe buy booze or drugs or extra food, or maybe that was just their way of making money. Jesus says simply give. And I get it. None of us want to be taken advantage of. We don't want to give to somebody trying to scam us. And if you get an email and they're trying to scam you, I am not suggesting you should give that. I don't know. I don't know where to draw the line. I know it's a struggle. And, maybe there are times people ask us for money and we give knowing they're going to spend it the wrong way. And maybe in some cases you're not required to give. But I suggest that we spend too much time trying to play God with those in need. The 10, 15, 20 minutes that my friend and I sat watching the woman ask for money, we could have been getting to know her, asking, what is your deal? You're asking multiple for money. We could have been praying for her. We could have been doing anything but standing there judging her. So I don't know. I suggest we suggest too much time analyzing the hearts of other people before we condescend to give. And it's not easy to figure out, where the line is, and I haven't perfected this. What I do know is this: giving to others, providing for them, is love made tangible. And it's critically important for the world to hear the words we speak and then see our actions. They should always hear our words, but those words come with love and caring actions. That's a lot to think about. We're not going to do this perfectly, but the call remains: love others by giving them food, drink, clothing, visiting them. How cool would it be to be reckless with caring for others? To be so reckless with caring for others, so reckless that maybe you end up giving to the wrong person from time to time. I suggest it's better to err on the side of giving. As always, I'll look forward to your comments and feedback. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoy your Thursday. Let me know in the comments how you handle giving to others. I don't claim to have the right answer, the perfect answer, the perfected answer. So, share how you give to others and what motivates you and how you discern where and when to give. And as always, you know the deal. Like the post, share it, leave a comment, leave feedback, send us a message, things like that. In the meantime, have a great day, and God bless you all.